Well, they approached me, and I said, well, okay, I'll serve on your board. So I did. And I thought, okay, we got a schizophrenic on the board, isn't this wonderful? Nope, nobody said anything. Except they were very proud they had a consumer on the board. But they wouldn't tell anybody which one. And I said, I used to tease the staff, I said, which one is it that guy from Goodyear over there? Yeah, and slowly, gradually, as Dr. Fisher said, he gave a couple of workshops here yesterday, became open and started giving these talks, and giving talks around the country, and with NAMI, giving a talk down in Mississippi, and there were two guys there from Memphis. One was named Sam, and one was named Dr. DuPont. Just a little talk in Mississippi. Then I began to see them over and over again. We come up to NAMI, and they're always together. Randy DuPont, Sam Cochran. Randy DuPont had a mantra, and I'm always, you know, us schizophrenics were sensitive to hearing the same thing over and again. Randy, he'd say, if DOJ, they'd ask a question, he'd say, well, Samurai, you call Samurai, we'll take care of it. Samurai, take care of it. And I'm going, Samurai? So I thought Saturday Night Live, we got the Samurai dentist, we got the Samurai undertaker, now we got the Samurai CIT. The Toyotas and the Honda, they're putting us all out of work here. Yeah. Okay, introductory remarks. Now, I got an 8-hour talk here. And as I mentioned, one of the problems with schizophrenia is you have what the psychiatrists call loose associations. Our bipolar friends have these things too. But that's kind of pejorative. I prefer the term poetic logic, you know? Or the philosophers, I love the philosopher phenomenon. He said, what we have is an expanded horizon of meaningfulness. Which means for the police officers, when you're talking to us, you're going to see we don't stay on the topic. We don't stay on your topic. We're on our topic, fine, but your topic, you. Expanded horizon of meaningfulness, which means if I go on persevering on this dangerous, oh yeah. Yeah, let me tell you about this. It's going to be in the talk, but I'm going to get to it here. See, I've been giving all these talks to these CIT officers. I've been 21 in a row here in the last 10 years in Akron, Ohio. And I'm in Florida and other places. And I always say, they always want to know, well, what's it like? What's it like with these psychotic people? And I always say, well, officers, you got experience with people who drink too much, right? Oh, yeah, always, yeah. So, you got different types of drunks. You got happy drunks. You got sad, depressed drunks. And you get mean, dangerous drunk. So that's pretty much what it's like. We come in different flavors, different varieties. But of course, I'm always a happy psychotic. I'm the happy schizophrenic. I dance and I sing. And that was true. But that is not the whole truth. See, the whole truth I'm remembering, the whole truth is that I was once dangerous. Very dangerous. Marine Corps. I studied karate in Japan. I know about that Marine Corps stuff. And the third time I was put away, they picked me up in the streets of Columbus, Ohio. That was the year that Martin Luther King was shot. 2 months later, Bobby Kennedy was shot. And exactly 1 month later, they picked me up. Notice the grandiosity here. And they put me in this place. As I often mention, this is a big place. We got a plaque down there that says, not only Not only was this the largest building, not only was this the largest psychiatric building in the entire country and in one perimeter, in one place. This was the largest building of any kind in the entire country until 1968 when they finished, 1943 when they completed the Pentagon. And so that's why it was such an honor to be a guest in this facility in '68. Now, I've told stories about having been put away as insane and told I couldn't possibly recover and I'd spend the rest of my life in these places. But I haven't told this story. I got there and for some reason they carried me and put me in the back wards in the seclusion room. In those days, they take all your clothes off because they didn't want you to use your shoestrings to strangle yourself. And I'm in the seclusion room, and they'd injected me with Thorazine. Just a miracle drug. It just come out. Anybody ever hear of Thorazine? Anybody ever try Thorazine? Milk. Well, for milk, would you arrange to sprinkle a little Thorazine on the bagels out there for these officers? Yeah, Thorazine does a lot of things. You got these side effects. One of them is thirst. And so I'm locked in this seclusion room, big thick door about this thick, and I can see a little hole this big. You can see out. And I'm thirsty. I'm screaming, water, water, water. Nobody's coming. But eventually they came. Eventually they came. I'm totally naked. There's a water fountain over there. I get out of my room, totally naked, birthday suit. Walk over to the water fountain, take the water, and I turn around, and I announce, I have arrived, and I am your rich uncle. Rich Uncle Fred. And I'm rich because I have a message for you. My name is Fred Frese, and I freeze these slaves of psychiatric oppression. And I'm freeing them right now. I freeze these slaves, and furthermore, I am not going back to that seclusion room. Yeah. Oh, I'm patient. Oh, yeah. Now, they got a procedure for this. It's called the Blue Alert. And I know they're calling this Blue Alert. They got people running from all these other wards. And I'd been out of the Marine Corps, I'd been in Japan for a couple of years, studied karate the whole time I'm over there. Now, I'm not going back to that ward, and furthermore, I know karate. Stand, and they're circling me, good half circle like this. I've been 20 staff members. And I'm waiting for the first one to come at me. And sure enough, you know who it is. It's the security guy, those keys. That pot belly. Coming right at me, and I got a little smile on my face. As soon as he gets within range, woo! I bounce. I didn't touch it. But that fist, I learned this in Japan. I can throw that baby. Just that close. He backs up. Whoa, whoa. He goes back, and I again say, I'm Uncle Fred, and I freeze the slaves. In your seclusion rooms, and your locks and keys are not, all your nuclear weapons are not strong enough. Not strong enough. And I'm looking at them. And then another one of them comes at me. And this happens to be this elderly lady. Must have been white uniform. Must have been at least 40. Comes at me, and I got this down here, I'm Uncle Fred, your rich uncle with a rich message. And she keeps coming. And I know I'm in trouble because I can't hit a woman. And she comes, she puts her arm on me, hand on my shoulder. She says, come on, Fred, let's go back to your room. And I use my karate. Hey, whack that up. That's Uncle Fred. Now, when I say that, she looks at all her fellow staff members. She's been there a number of years. Looks at all her fellow staff members, looks back at me, very calculatedly says, okay, Uncle Fred, let's go back to your room. And I put my chest up and I say, yes, Uncle Fred, totally naked Uncle Fred, I'm going back to my room. Now, they weren't real anxious to let Uncle Fred out of that room. I was in there for at least 3 days. I remember the smell because there wasn't a bathroom in there. But what's the message? What's the message from the dangerous mental patients? Yeah, we think a little differently. All that took was just a little bit of dignity, a little friendship. As Sam Cochran says, all it took was a little bit of heart, a little bit of luck. Could they have overpowered me? I didn't even get my white belt in karate, for crying out loud. Now I said we got a problem. We got a problem with my friends Oliver, James, Isaiah, and Fred. What do we do with them? What do we do when we pick them up in the street? Police officers, first responders, you're going to be the ones interacting, doing a fantastic job. But that report says we got too many people going to jails and prisons and not enough into psychiatric care. Well, psychiatric care is expensive. Those state hospitals, $500 a day. Those private hospitals, $1,000 a day and up. Jails, they're expensive. They're not that much. Now, have I got the answer to this? Yeah, I got the answer. I don't have an answer, but I remember that nurse coming and giving me that dignity and knowing there'd have been bones broken had I not been treated with dignity, and it probably would have been my bones. James, 300 pounds, he killed his mother, he killed his father. James is a nice guy. Isaiah's a nice guy. They're all nice guys. I don't have the answer to this one, but I know it's something we can no longer put our head in the sand and pretend like it's not there. Okay, you got me on there. Can we get back to the overhead? Okay, this was Asylum for the Insane in Columbus, Ohio, 4th of July, 1968. I'm looking out my window in that seclusion room. I could see that flag flying. And then I saw the smoke. And I could see flames coming because Ohio's largest penitentiary, the OP, just happened to be down the hill that weekend. And the prisoners had arrived, taken it over, set it on fire. State Highway Patrol comes in, still a big picture in the state capitol on this. They're sitting there with their shotguns, big hole in the wall, 17 killed.